Let's see what's in store with the dating doctor.
Welcome to the Open to Hope show. I'm your host, Dr. Gloria Horsley, with my co-host today.
Dr. Frank Powers.
Frank is my partner and fiance. We met on the Silver Singles after I was in a long-term marriage and Frank had been divorced.
Divorced a year and a half.
And we met and we've produced a book, Open to Love, The Secrets of Senior Dating. And we've got our story in there, but we also have a history of clients that we've had. Frank and I have both been psychologists for 40 years apiece. So
There's 80 years of experience.
To share with you all. It's available on Amazon now. And all of the proceeds go to our foundation, the Open to Hope Foundation, with a mission of helping people find hope after loss. And Frank, I want you to give a little context of what's going on with loneliness in the nation and our thoughts.
Yeah. Well, the Surgeon General has said for people who are seniors, loneliness is the biggest mental health issue that seniors face. And there's a lot of talk about loneliness, but the antidotes for loneliness, which obviously for us is you find a partner, so you're not lonely anymore. And it would be the easiest and the best way if you could do it. And certainly because of our experience, we think it's possible. And we want to have people realize that it's not a fantasy for you in your 60s and 70s
and 80s.
And 80s. To find someone.
Absolutely.
And get rid of the worst mental health issue that seniors face, which is being alone.
And we're going to find out today as we talk to our guests that not only can you find a partner, but you can find new friends also, which fit into that loneliness. Take a risk.
The two ladies that we're going to be interviewing found a lot of friendships, and their friendship now came out of them getting together and looking for love.
The Golden Bachelor ABC is where we met these two beautiful ladies, and let me introduce them right now. So we're having them both on. We'll start with you, Kathy Swarts. You want to raise your hand so everybody?
Hi, everybody. Thanks for having me.
So Kathy is from Austin, Texas. She's a retired educational consultant.
Yeah.
She likes to hike. I saw that. And you are a widow.
And she's a good pickleball player too.
Thank you. I am. And a golfer.
Oh, you're a golfer also? Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, I was going to say our next guest, Susan Noles. Hi, Susan.
Hi, how are you?
Good.
You guys are adorable. I just have to tell
Thank
you, adorable.
It gives us hope, Susan. It gives us
I know,
hope.
I know. It's never too late.
Never.
Susan, I am a freaking avid golfer. We've all got to get together and take a trip.
I love the game. I'm not celebrating how good I am, but I'll keep
None
on
of us
trying.
are.
It's about having fun.
Where else can you meet three healthy guys on a moment's notice?
I like it. I mean, I'm not above hanging out at a golf course. I'm just saying.
You just sign up and go out with those three guys.
That's right.
That's it.
And hope one of them is single. So let's get with it and talk about how did you guys get on Golden Bachelor?
I would say Susan and I are both pretty confident women, and I applied myself for the Golden Bachelor. I just read an ad for it on Facebook and I thought I can do that. And I clicked the button and they called me the next day, and 3 or 4 interviews later, you know, a few months later, there I was in the mansion, and I would do it again in a heartbeat. It was one of the best adventures and experiences I've had. And
It was.
nope,
It
didn't
was.
find love, but made lots of great friends.
How about you, Susan?
My girlfriend had called me, it's 4 years, March, said, Susan, you got to fill out this application. They're having an old people bachelor. I was like, what? So I did, and I didn't hear from them for 3 years. A year ago, March, they called me and I said, I thought you forgot about me. They said, no, due to the pandemic, they shut down production, but they kept my information and I went through the process, and it was very exciting.
You know, you
Just-
just made a point that is really important, I think, Frank, and that is that it was an old guy. Okay, what we haven't said for people who haven't followed this is Jerry was 70, and the women ranged the 60s to the late.
Gloria, we got to be honest. Gary turned 71 10
During
seconds
the
after the
show.
show started.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
he was 71,
A much older man.
a much older man.
And much to our surprise, I thought being golden was 65. If you collect Social Security, you're golden. When I found out when I got there, there was quite a few 60-year-olds there. So I was
Yeah.
a little, oh,
Almost half of it, not me, but almost half of the ladies were under 65. So, you know, Susan and I've talked about this. We are both energetic. We love life. You know, we look good, quote unquote, for our age, but it's hard to compete against a 60-year-old. Although, you know,
yes.
I did win the
it
pickleball
is.
tournament. So yeah.
in the competition, but in love and life, I'm 84 girls, and my
Look
man,
at you.
I know,
my
you
man
look
is
great.
80.
Yeah.
I like
Oh,
it.
you're
Hey,
a
I'll go
cougar.
younger. I don't
Cougar.
have a
I'll go
problem
younger.
going younger.
Our situations are a little bit different. My husband, I was married almost 46 years. And as you guys know, my husband died by suicide 5 years ago. Susan's been divorced for, 20 something years, Susan?
Not quite 20, yeah.
So, our situations are very different in that way.
Well, Frank comes from divorce.
Yes, yes. And I think there are different attitudes about people when you meet them, about whether you're someone who's lost a spouse or someone who is divorced. There are
Definitely.
some ideas and attitudes that are
Mhm.
different. And I think divorcees do have a harder time because they feel like, oh my gosh, mine was a failure. And if indeed your spouse passes away, it's not seen so much as a failure.
Yeah.
No,
The
but a
one
lot
I
of times
would
when your
say-
spouse passes away, they're thinking, I could never replace the love of their life.
Oh my
They
God,
have a
the
difficult thing
competition
too.
is
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
hard, because
And
Good.
I think
The-
suicide's a little different loss too, because, if someone in a divorce, you, as Susan and her ex-husband can be good friends, you can talk
are.
things through.
Mhm.
When, if your husband or your wife dies of a heart attack, that's no one's fault kind of thing. But suicide
It has
is,
a stigma, yes.
it has a stigma, which is, believe it or not, one of the reasons I wanted to go on the show. I wanted to have a platform to talk about that. But also I'll never have the chance to go back and talk things through and find out about the depression, the loneliness. It's a hard stop when
Yeah.
that kind of thing happens. So it's a
Absolutely.
little different.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting. I met a guy early on in a grief group that played golf, and we played golf together, which got me started in kind of the dating process. But I found that if you were in a grief group and met a guy in a grief group, you're solid. The whole world's like, oh yeah, oh, you met in a grief group. Oh, his wife died too.
Isn't that
It's
wonderful?
like, oh, we don't have any judgment. Then comes along divorcee Frank, different matter.
And
Who
he
is-
was a hot ticket, huh?
What does he want? What does he want from you, mom? That kind of thing starts percolating.
Well, I was so interested in the fact that at 1901, the average lifespan was 46 years of age.
Yeah. Yeah.
And now it's 77 years of age. So we've been given 30 years more life, also because we're not doing a lot of heavy manual labor, most of us. Our bodies are much better, and we're more likely to be someone who could have a relationship later in life. So there's two things going on, plus the post-war baby boom, which is the largest number of people
Huge.
in that cohort. So you've got these factors where there's, for the first time in history, first time in human history, that there are large numbers of people in their 60s, 70s, and 80s that are healthy enough for a relationship and don't want to face loneliness. Loneliness is not a human condition that most of us like. We don't like to be alone. We're social animals. We want to be with other people. We want to have the interaction, and it's healthier. People who are married tend to live 7 years longer than people who are single.
Okay, so lady,
Oh, well, then I better get married.
well,
Find your love.
there's a whole bunch about people who are living together and not getting married. So I think that's pretty okay now.
Well, that's okay too.
I love that you guys are getting out there now. Have you had people come and, try to meet you
Wait, is
after
that
you're being
Bachelor?
on?
It's so
Susan.
sad that we keep answering the same way. No,
We shake our heads in unison.
I
I've
don't
had-
understand.
I've had, I think, 3 or 4 guys in their 30s reach out to me. That's younger. My youngest child, my daughter is 36. So no, thank you. I'm not interested in that
Raising
situation.
another child.
Yeah, I don't want to
We
raise.
don't want to raise kids.
I got married when I was 20. I raised my husband. We raised each other. I've raised 3 kids. I'm out. I'm out of that game. But
I
it's
want my
not easy.
companion, right? We
I-
want a best friend, somebody
with
to
it.
enjoy the rest of the days with and do
Susan,
things
I talk
with.
about this all the time. This
do.
is our last chapter of our life, and
Mhm.
we want to make it, and it
The
is
best
the best
chapter.
chapter. And we're having our best life right now. But both of us, we've talked about this a lot. We would like to find that person that complements us. As Susan always says, what do you say?
I used to believe I was a woman that needed a man. Now I know I'm a woman that a man needs.
Oh, I love it.
Isn't that good?
I
And
love it.
and I don't
And I
think
believe it.
Yeah, I don't think for me, I don't think a man needs me. I think he's missing out on a lot of fun if he doesn't want me. But it is a process, and where we are in our lives now, we've raised our children, we've had our careers. Now we're looking for that adventure, that companionship, that intimacy that looks different now than it did when we were 20. Exactly.
I love this.
I love
You
that. That's what
two.
we
You
want.
two are adorable.
You're adorable. That's what we're
You give
looking
us
for.
hope.
Now, ladies, don't forget, we met online, Silver Singles. Have you looked at your profile lately?
I'm a writer. My profiles, honestly, is great. It's
Telling
just
people what you want.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay,
current pictures.
One of the things that Frank and I are big on, and you are dating buddies.
Yeah.
Having
Dating
a-
buddies.
Yep.
Don't go into your head alone, and don't go on the internet alone. You want to have someone who's there you can have fun with. This should be a fun thing where you're going to be meeting new people. And most of them are not going to be good candidates. Out of every 30 people that you even show an interest in, there's probably only 1 or 2 that are going to be even viable candidates.
Right.
This is a
So-
numbers game, and you do have to be persistent about it.
Yeah.
But honestly, most often there are people out there that would be good candidates. It's just a matter of the numbers game and going through them and being safe and being a good consumer
Oh,
on internet.
And not wasting time.
Not wasting
right. And
So you went out of.
if they
20.
don't want to meet up with you,
yeah. But here's the thing for me, and again, I keep saying, Susan and I, we talk a lot. We are buddies. We are friends,
Right.
and we
Mhm.
share our struggles.
Watching you guys on the Golden Bachelor wasn't just saying we have to find a person. It was showing that if you take a risk, if you step out, if you're willing to do something, you will also meet new people. I will dare say probably both of you are less lonely than you were before you started the show.
I agree.
Yeah,
I agree.
that's true.
We made
And
so
and
many
a lot,
friendships
yeah.
and strong bonds like Kathy
And-
and,
and
I.
yeah, and a
Nancy.
lot
There's
busier.
a few of us.
Yeah. but I where I think the problem culturally, it's, you can cry in your soup about it, or you can accept it and move on. Culturally, historically, men have dated, not you guys, have dated younger women. And that is just a fact. We can sit and fight it as much as we want. Most of the men who have reached out to me, unless they're 35-year-olds, are men at least 5 years older than I. And the fact of the matter is they don't have enough energy for me. Most of my girlfriends are in their 40s and 50s, and I keep up with them just fine. So for me, that's just an added little detail that if I meet a man organically and he doesn't know how old I am, that plays better, because so many on the dating sites see my age and they just flip right by.
Mhm.
exactly. And that's one of the reasons why in the book we talk about, it's a real conundrum for, especially for women, about should they put their age in there, or should
I-
they put the age they feel? And verify that with friends and family about, okay, what age would you say I am at, given my energy and given just the luck of the draw in terms of my genetics? I need to put that number down, not necessarily the chronological age.
Wow.
If I put the real number down and then in the bio say
Yes.
how I feel, but that number that stands up first is what they say.
My daughter actually said, Mom, you act like a 50-year-old. I said, Caitlin, I'm 70. She said, so put down 60. And my answer to her, and I stand by it today, to me,
You're
if you start a
lying.
relationship off with a lie,
Okay,
I
now,
don't care.
let me put one comment about that. I do know people who put down younger ages and found people, and the
They
very
said, "Look, I
first
want
day
like
they
this."
walk
I've done
in,
it.
they hear
This is
the
the
deal.
reason I
This
did
is
it.
how old I am, and if you don't like it, goodbye.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've done exactly what you've said, and nobody was offended by it. They couldn't believe when I told them. It was like 4 years, I think I took off. But when I went and met them, and I was like, I got to tell you first, because I don't want to start it off with a lie. And they
No,
were like,
I'm
no
very
way, you don't
careful.
look that way at all. You
If you're
know,
gonna do it, you have to.
And
very
that gives them your truth. You
yes,
know,
yes,
If they can't handle the truth, I mean, you're not going to be with them anyway. So
Right.
exactly,
Exactly.
exactly.
So
So I
I-
don't think there's anything wrong with it. Kath, put down 63.
absolutely.
Yeah, I
Except
mean, my gosh, the thing is, if you think about it, you're in the 90 percentile, okay, for people your age, in terms of your health, in terms of your intellect, and in terms of experience and your energy. So if you're in that 90 percentile, you need to find someone who's also in that 90 percentile.
Right.
Yeah, it's going to take more effort. You're going to have to meet more people,
Yeah.
because the number of people that are going to be real candidates for you are limited. But
Absolutely.
they're out there. There are people.
you only need
It's just-
one.
So where are you going to find them if you
That's
don't
all I
find
could do is one at a time.
them, you meet them?
Hey, talk to us about your new Bachelor Happy Hour that you guys are doing podcast.
Yes.
I'm excited to hear you're doing a podcast. That's
It's
gonna
so
be
exciting.
fun.
I mean, we get to share with everybody about our thoughts, about their questions. We love answering the questions that they send in to us, our opinions on
Yeah.
things, right, Kathy?
Yeah. And I think our biggest thing that Susan and I together have, a lot of years, a combined years of experiences, some of the highest highs, some of the lowest lows. And both of us, we really enjoy the opportunity to give people hope, which is why I
Mhm.
love the name of your podcast, that
Yes.
people get up off the sofa, live your best life. People are not going to come knock on your door. Get out there and do something. Take a walk, take up a new hobby.
Mhm.
That's how you meet people. And that
It's
increases
not-
your chances.
It's
of-
not even just finding love, right?
No,
Kathy?
it's
We
finding-
found
exactly.
friendships that
Right.
got us up and motivated again.
Right.
Not that we're still not looking. We are
Right.
looking, but
And we have, so my son got married 3 weeks ago to a woman, by the way, who,
Congratulations.
thank you, who is 10 years older. We love her. Susan actually came to Austin and was the
I
wedding
performed
officiant.
the
for the wedding.
ceremony.
Oh,
For the-
fun.
So that
That
was
was
fun.
great.
But we were out the next day because I live in Austin, Texas. So we were at a brewery the next day. People came up to us
And
and
shared.
this
yeah.
one woman, Susan, and we still talk about it. This
Yes.
one woman came up to me and said, my mom passed away in September, which was so strange because my mom passed away in September. But she said, my dad is 70. And of course, too soon. I said, give me his number. But
you should have said.
I did. Oh, I did say that.
Oh, now, wait a minute. I'm going to have to say, I've got to stop you just to throw in something. Most widowers who remarry do it in the first 7 months.
Really?
Even if you have
Yes.
to hear some of their death stories.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
Well,
true because
It's
they,
not the
yes.
worst
You
thing.
might want
Well, it's not the worst thing. It's not, but she said to us, she looked at us both and she said, you guys are so compassionate. We love seeing you on the show. And we have told our dad, we hope that he does what you're doing, getting up. And that gives us a great feeling, but that we're giving other people hope for,
Absolutely. And the Golden Bachelor and you guys on there really gave people a lot of hope. And also what I loved was that most of the women made the comment at some point on there that they had reopened their heart to love and the possibility.
We absolutely are. I don't think I've ever closed my heart for love.
I agree.
I really don't. I think I've been a little picky, maybe, because I've had my full life experience so far, and I live life, trust me. And I know I look at love differently than I did when I was younger. And you know what you want and what you can do and can't do. So it's become a little different, a different love.
However, Susan, we also on our podcast, I think we say these words every time. We are smart enough and old enough and have had enriching experiences that we know that finding that partner, it's not that butterfly in the stomach for 30 years.
The lust. It's not just lust.
You have to compromise
Yes.
and communicate.
And communicate. There are 2 C's.
And we just keep saying that because in any relationship, whether you're 20 or 70, it's about being able to communicate. It's being able to be compassionate. And, most of life is made up of the little things, and little things just don't matter. So kind of pick your battles. That's kind of what we've come to.
Frank and I see it more as we're parallel partners in life, because you've led a full life and he's led a full life, and we're, down the path together. But, we do have, if I need to go to some graduations for my grandchildren.
Yeah.
I'm not coming.
I think I read.
And you're okay with him not coming if he didn't care to come.
But I think I read something in your book about that's really important to us, is finding the guy that wants to integrate into my family and where I can integrate into his family. Our children are important pieces of our life that when you're 20 and looking for a guy or a gal, that's not an issue. Susan and I have children. We have grandchildren. So that's just another piece of the puzzle that really has to work for us.
As we're older, we are more of a package. And
Yes.
you need to love the package and all the pieces of it. And so if you don't, then in a sense, you're missing out a lot.
Exactly.
I love Gloria Nation. I mean, her family is just so much fun. I mean, I've had this much fun, and the rest
How
of
long
my-
have you two been together?
2 years,
2 years.
going on 3.
Yeah.
2 years. Yeah.
I wanted to ask you guys, is there any place you want people to go find you?
People are struggling trying to find us because it's not just our heading. You have to go into Bachelor
podcast.
Happy Hour, our
The
podcast.
podcast, Susan? Yeah.
Yes. And it's especially for older people like myself, they're not used to it and they don't know how to get around it. So we tell them every podcast. Kathy and I actually put little directions on a video and we post that.
And it's not that hard. It's not that hard. All you have to do is go to wherever you get podcasts, search for Bachelor Happy Hour, click the follow button, and then scroll down in the shows and you will see ours, which is called Golden Hour. And then once you follow us, you'll be notified every time there's a new podcast. As far as finding us individually, we're both on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. My handle is the initial K, the initial B, and then my last name Swarts. And that's across the board. So you can look up Kathy Swarts with a K or KB Swarts, and you can find us across all social platforms. Susan, I'm not sure what yours is.
The Susan Noles. Just
There you go.
me.
Hey, just your name. All right. Well, ladies, thank you so much for being on the show today. You're so much fun. And are you going to have guests on your show? You can look for some hot guys to have on.
I know, right?
As soon as
Maybe
you
we'll
s-
have you guys on.
As soon as you send us the hot guys, we're just going to line them up. And thank you guys for your podcast. Thank you for helping the nation fight loneliness and realizing there's
Absolutely.
so much more life out there. So a big
Absolutely.
shout out to you guys.
Thank you. And thank you, guys. And Frank and I again want to remind you, our book, Open to Love, The Secrets of Senior Dating. You can get it on Amazon right now.
It was step-by-step directions. I mean, you can't go wrong using your book. I agreed with everything you wrote, especially getting down towards the end about incomes and your
Yeah.
finances and keeping things separate. You really covered it all.
Oh, thank you.
Read the
Thank
book,
you.
magic will happen. Read the
Yes.
book and magic will happen.
And we're all open for
Go
love.
on Amazon. Well, thank you, everybody,
you.
for joining us on this show today. And
So
Frank
nice to meet you.
and I and all of our Open to Hope family want to remind you that if you've lost hope, please lean on ours until you find your own, and God bless.